Brian Mansell?
Well, our number one priority in this
That's
entire
cool. They show you the
situation,
most replayed.
Is
that
and
by
has
me?
been to ensure that anybody, including Mr. Mansell and his family, they are treated fairly. And
Okay.
so as we've gone through,
So
the
what are we doing?
documents, we've looked at everything. Our number one priority right now is to ensure that he gets made whole. You know, with the underreporting that took place and the documents that we now have that shows what actually went on, we know that we have a responsibility to work with him to make sure he does get made whole. And so we're working towards that, and we're hoping that he'll be able to come to the table. We're excited to.
This guy is trying everything he can to look like the victim. He's trying to look like the victim. Oh, there was false reporting. Oh, I didn't know that was what was going on. Oh, yeah. There's no excuse for the way that you have handled this at all, especially lying about a U-Haul truck. I know I keep going back to that, but that's a big deal. He's explicitly said no, he did not bring a U-Haul truck.
Able
Anyway,
to make that
we'll
happen.
carry on.
And so we want to make sure that everybody knows that we're working diligently to get him to the table so that we can get that taken care of.
Now you say make whole. Will that include saying, hey, 780 sets, 1,200 minifigs, we're going to tell you what we have where, we're going to tell you what we think was sold. Does that come with making him whole?
Yes. Yep. Being able to show all the documents, and if he was, like, again, as we believe through the documentation, not paid the way that he should have been, then we would cover the difference.
All right, Mr. Ammon McNeff, CEO of Bricks Minifigs, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, well, hopefully he does make it right, and hopefully it's not a big deal, and that everybody becomes, is happy. But I mean, he's already done irreparable damage to his company by handling it the way he did.
And it
What's
is
this?
time for
This guy's
new courtesy.
I like this guy. He used to be on
Jacob Tissett's guy.
what was it? Blah, 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 blah. Locked On Bengals. That's what it was. Yep, we're back on game content. Don't worry. I'm confused. Why is it still double type texting? Oh, that was before. Yes, streamer. Yes. Everything. Start. Oh, let's see what happens.
His brother from another mother.
Who is it?
Wright spewing nonsense after Joe Burrow's comments earlier this week about being a Super Bowl contender, about wanting all of the smoke that comes with being a contender. Here's Nick Wright.
I'm gonna have to subscribe to this. This guy's good.
Like Joe Burrow.
Not him, the other guy.
Years back, I used to be one of the only people that said, hey, you should have him ranked ahead of Josh Allen as far as what they
James Rapine, I think his name is.
He's fallen off as a player. Little injury concerns more than a little, but I think a healthy Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. But I am stunned at how much attention the Cincinnati Bengals get on shows like ours. I'm stunned. I understand 5 years ago they won one.
This guy's a
against
Chiefs
Kansas
fan. You
City,
can
and I'm
see
very
it.
happy for them that they did that. But
Nick Wright.
it has been
He plays the
4 years
he
since
plays
they have played in a playoff game.
the evil guy.
Here is the list of teams
The villain.
that have not made the playoffs. When you say it like
An
that,
NFL
here's
talk
4
host.
years.
This
Here's
guy's
the list
the
of
villain.
teams that have missed the playoffs each of the last 3
He looks like Kylo Ren too, don't he? It's the
It's
Kylo Ren of
that we
NFL
try to put in
sports
the
talk.
show. Hubs gives us a funny look.
Yeah.
The Giants a little bit once they got Harbaugh. The Jets with Aaron Rodgers. Number one pick Raiders. No, nobody cares. Number one pick Cam Ward. Right. And so it is. And Cincinnati. 14 out of 18 teams make the playoffs in the NFL. The Bengals have gone 0 for 3 the last 3 years. I do like their defensive line additions. Yeah. I do think that should help them. But I don't think they are.
You think it should help them?
The first 10 teams I listed.
The only reason they didn't make it to the playoffs is because Joe Burrow got hurt. And their defense couldn't stop anything. And then their offensive line finally got it together halfway through the season. Dude, this year coming up, if they don't perform, I definitely won't be. Zach Taylor won't be there no more at all. Like, they have to make it at least to the championship game and win that for Zach Taylor to keep his job. That's what I think the expectation is.
They have not been anywhere close.
So what this guy is saying doesn't matter at all. Last year, the years before that, it does not matter. You know why? Because they are taking it serious this time. They have done everything that they do not normally do. Like, go after free agency, do unexpected draft deals with top defensive players. They don't spend money. This year they did. They are going after it this year, and I know every year all these Bengals fans are like, oh, this is our year. I really feel it this time. Like Joe Burrow said, it feels like the 2019 LSU season. And we all know how that ended. So this guy, what he's saying doesn't make, it makes sense, but it's there's so much more nuance than just what he's saying.
Close. Yeah. In the last 3 seasons that have been played, it is surprising to me how much staying power that one win against the Chiefs has had.
That's not the only what? All right, sorry. Let me just get the take on this.
All right. Worst word. And here's why it's the worst word. 1, put your fandom away. The kids
exactly right.
Fandom is nonsense. 2, this idea: Jets, Raiders, Titans, Cardinals, Giants, Falcons,
exactly.
Colts.
Super Bowl or bye-bye, Zach.
If Drew Brees was playing in his prime for the Saints right now, guess what? Then you could compare the Bengals to the Saints. You're comparing all these teams that are
exactly
praying.
People hate playing the Bengals. They don't want to go against Joe Burrow.
Outside of maybe the Raiders with Mendoza or whoever they had. But my point is
every single defensive player says the same thing.
The Bengals not only have a franchise quarterback, they have a guy that Nick Wright apparently likes. No chance do you actually like Joe Burrow, because if you like Joe Burrow, you'd be aware that going head-to-head against your guy Mahomes, he's won more than he's lost. And that's it, Joe Burrow going up against Josh Allen, Mahomes, insert whoever else you want.
Exactly.
He's either won or going to have a really good chance of winning regardless of the defense.
He's trying to cover his ass for
that's it. Why
the Ravens.
Just talking about Joe Burrow because
the Ravens
the best on the planet. Have they had some down years? Absolutely. But you can't deny that.
I feel like
you can't deny that Joe Burrow is in that conversation with all these other guys.
Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely.
Who are you taking? Patrick Mahomes coming off of a torn ACL? Did you?
And
Joe Burrow, when he was out there, was better.
There's another one
last year.
But I don't think he's on their team anymore. I can't remember his name exactly, but
yeah, the Bengals are really good.
He's like a tight end.
Joe needs to stay healthy. Well, everybody knows that.
I can't remember his name.
This argument.
Anyway, when I hear them, they're always in the end zone, and
quite frankly,
Lamar Jackson always finds a way to get it to him. Always.
Unfair.
It's annoying. It's so annoying.
And they don't. And sometimes it is that simple.
You guys told me about this take and that we were going to use it in the show, and I was like, all right, I'm purposely not going to watch it beforehand.
Yeah,
I wanted to have a genuine, pure reaction.
You don't like it?
That was so much.
It's because he can see the field.
I was expecting.
His IQ on the field is
worst word by far,
crazy.
Probably in the history of our show so far. Look, the Bengals need to have an asterisk amongst the teams that have missed the playoffs each of the last 3 years because Joe Burrow has been healthy in only one of those seasons. So yeah, 2025 and 2023 would have looked very different had you had a fully healthy Joe Burrow for the entire.
I don't think this really helps the argument.
And also him saying,
but
there are at least
I do not like how he is shown to be injury prone. Hopefully those are past him and he can just move on. Hopefully that he doesn't have to
would literally struggle
deal with that anymore with the offensive line being better. I just hope they can perform like they did in the middle of the season, like they decided to do.
In the show of national
Or something clicked. I don't know what it was.
Favorites in the AFC to not being a top 10 contender. That's so far apart that one of them has to be wrong. And I think the way we went through
and having Joe Flacco,
all these people nationally are viewing the Bengals.
Man, we would have won at least 3 of those games that he played in if we had a semblance of a defense.
The Bengals are clearly different from them, but if you compared the Bengals to the teams they do talk about on that show on a consistent basis, they would be much more aligned. You talk about elite quarterbacks, you talk about superstars on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. The Bengals
do we still have Jake Browning?
Many of those as any team in the league
Anybody know?
at this point. Now, obviously, there's a need to see it to believe it aspect of the Bengals when you miss the last 3 years, but 10 teams in the league that can win a Super Bowl before the Bengals, I just don't see it at all. I don't even really understand how you come to that.
It's the only one.
Much less get it out on air.
That's the only one.
Play the game, the anti-Bengal game. Well, we can do it. We can try to play your game, Nick. We will. Bills, Patriots. He would list those 2.
Yep.
He would list the Ravens.
Really?
There's 3.
Okay, yeah.
Would he list? He would probably list the Texans. Whether that's fair or not.
Really? Yeah. Oh.
Wait, really?
Would he list?
There's no other way you can get.
Would he list the Jags?
You have
Both
to.
Texans are
All right,
both.
let's do 1 for now. There's 4, and then he'd probably say Chargers, Chiefs, maybe Broncos.
Wait, above the Bengals?
There's 7, and I didn't even get to the NFC.
Right.
Like that's